Please, sir, let's find your seat and we can start.
No, I'm not going to.
Then I'm
I'm not going
You
to.
did, like 4 or 5 times. And that's why now we have a disturbance. Because some other people can't just be like, you know what? I could sit right here,
Sir, we're not doing this
one
anymore.
seat off.
We're not doing
One
this.
seat off.
I gotta say, man, the employee here has the patience of an actual Zen master. I don't know how someone can be dealing with fucking drunk Yosemite Sam over here like this with such a level head. He's just sitting there being as respectful as possible given the circumstance. So that guy needs a raise. ASAP.
So if I were to move over one seat, everything would be okay.
Sir,
Is that what you're saying?
you're disrupting.
Is that what you're saying?
Listen.
Does that mean?
Are you gonna listen?
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Be my pest.
Okay. At this point, you are disrupting the show for these fine folks. We're gonna ask you to leave. We'll get you a refund, though. I'll be nice and get you a refund.
I don't know. I might want to be taken out in handcuffs now.
Sir, let's. Come on.
I say call his bluff. This is not a guy who's accustomed to confrontation or fighting. When you see him stand up, you'll know what I'm talking about. This is a guy whose only argument has probably ever come from playing Dungeons and Dragons online, or maybe like a rule dispute in Magic the Gathering. There is no chance that this guy would be okay in the face of like actual confrontation. He's just taking advantage of some very respectful and nice workers and being an insufferable asshole. Now, it does sound like he's been drinking, but that's no excuse for this behavior whatsoever. It's such a small, trivial thing to just move one seat over. I imagine the reason they even checked his ticket and then found out he was in the wrong seat is because someone was trying to sit in their assigned seat, but this fucking vigilante swamp-ass monster couldn't help but try and, like, fight for his right to be a nuisance. It's so frustrating that people will cause such a massive scene over something so small. Just move one seat over. It's just not that hard.
I paid my money. I don't understand
we'll
why
get
it
you-
is. If I sit over here, one
At-
seat, it's
at this
okay, and everything is right with the world. But if not, the world stops and everybody gets upset.
Sir, let's go. I'll be nice and I'll get you a refund.
I want more than just a refund.
Okay.
Can I
You're not
get a
getting
drink?
more than
We'll take care of you in the lobby.
One more drink's gonna have this man in the fetal position crying and asking for his mom to pop a tit for him to suckle. It's not a good idea. He's definitely hit the sauce a little too hard today, though he does strike me as just an already angry person to begin with if he's willing to go this hard on something this insignificant. So hopefully he didn't get a drink, and hopefully he didn't get a refund. He was not entitled to a refund. He literally just donated to this theater to not even see a movie. He went in here, confrontational, and basically kicked himself out. He does not need a refund. That is being way too nice to this guy. These two workers deserve a raise for having to deal with someone like this. Just an actual public nuisance.
Fine. And then I won't come back.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make sure everybody knows about this shit.
Okay. I appreciate that.
I capitulate because I don't want to watch the movie now. You ruined it for me. Because of your silly ass rules.
Okay. I apologize about that.
Take a look at that drip, god damn! Looking suave. Man out here with the red on red, dressed like an actual zit. Or maybe the saturation's a little up and maybe it's orange on orange and he's cosplaying as a traffic cone with a wig. I'm really not sure, but he's looking real good here. Man's looking like Doc Brown going through a phase after Back to the Future 3.
I still think I'm being the bigger person here.
I think you dropped your phone.
Yeah. At least I didn't pay $900 for it. Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy your movie.
The most predictable twist in cinema history. This guy owns a trench coat and unironically wears it in public. I actually thought when he first picked it up it was a trash bag or like a tarp or something, and then it turned out to be a trench coat and I just thought, yep, that makes sense. That tracks. That sounds about par for the course. He probably also had like a katana stored in the trunk of his car just in case he happened to get jumped by 6 samurais on the way out of the parking lot or something. Just really sad shit. Just a public nuisance for no fucking reason. Could have just moved one seat over and saved everyone the trouble and himself the embarrassment. I think this is just a lesson to everyone to not make a big deal out of such simple and small things. Even like, let's say in some fantasy world, he was right. You know, he was actually in the right seat and the movie theater was wrong. None of them they couldn't read. They were all illiterate. Even still, it's such a simple ask. They're asking me to move one seat over. I might be right, but why am I going to fight them? It's their facility. I'll just move over so that way I'm not intruding on everyone else's time. It's just not hard to just do something simple for the sake of everyone else's enjoyment and ease of existence. Like, it's just, I don't know, that shit just drives me up a fucking wall. Anyway, I just saw this today and wanted to talk about it. That's about it. See ya. I've seen a lot of gross videos on the internet. Usually nothing phases me. And I know that's a cliche a lot of people toss around, like some kind of hardened, seasoned warrior of internet usage, like, nothing gets under my skin or gives me the heebie-jeebies anymore. Been around too long. And light up a fucking cigar or something. Like, I know a lot of people say that, but it's just very rare that I find a video that actually unnerves me. And a couple days ago, I found one of those rare cases where a video actually is just so yucky that it put, like, the fear of God back in me when it came to, like, internet gross-out content. And it wasn't, like, a planned shock video. We're not talking about, like, you know, Goatsy, Lemon Party, or any of the classics or anything, or New Age shock videos. What it was a man in Paris set up cups around a location that people were using to publicly urinate. And the cups people would go up and pee in. And then he would scoot in there like a thief in the night, take the cup, drink it, and set it back down and waddle away waiting for more people to fill his goblet. And then once it was filled with more strangers' piss, he'd come right back in and claim his prize once more. It is so foul. It is revolting. I'm not going to show you the video itself because I'm sure that would be a terms of service violation on YouTube. It is very clearly sexual. There's no way this guy is drinking strangers' piss for nutritional benefits or because it tastes yummy. It is very much some kind of unreal fetish that I've never even heard of just drinking strangers' pee-pee. But I'll show you what he looks like. So this is the Tinkle Goblin, and he's got multiple cups set up waiting for people to fill it with piss. And I'll show you him about to claim his trophy. This is him approaching the cup in one of the videos here. And he drinks pretty much all of it because he doesn't want to waste any of that sweet nectar that he works so hard to collect here in his cup. In the video, you can see two men pissing into that cup at the same time. They are turbocharging it. Like, it is actual urine. It's not like some kind of staged video. This isn't like a fake CGI experiment or anything, I don't think. It's all one continuous shot from a guy that is just filming from inside of the building and catching this guy in the act, drinking strangers' urine. He sets up these, like, booby traps for piss, so that way he can drink it. It's so weird and gross. I don't even really understand why it's so disgusting to me. I've definitely seen objectively more disturbing and gross videos, but there's something about the repeated nature of him doing this and the idea that he does this often. Because like I mentioned, in this video there is once again another cup that he has strategically placed to catch more piss, but that one's empty, so he must have already had his fill. But like, it might be more than just these two cups. He might have cups all around the city. He could be like a Batman tier villain who's trying to suck Gotham dry of their piss. Like, it's just so bafflingly weird and gross to watch him drink all of it after watching the men piss into the cup. It's strange. It's just so odd. I'll show you clips where I talked about it on stream with chat, and we just kind of went over it for a little while. I again, don't show any of the clips of it because I do think it would be a violation of the rules too, but man, is it wild. You see about the guy in Paris stealing strangers' pee to drink? That is actually shocking that you mentioned that because I still have that video pulled up in a tab. It is one of the most bafflingly disgusting videos I have ever watched in my life. Like, it's on the same level as like my initial impression of Two Girls, One Cup. Like, the emotions I felt watching that for the first time, I felt again when I watched this video a few days ago. It's so gross. And there's a cup that's filled with fluid, and some old guy walks up to it, fucking chugs it, like literally just skulls this bitch, drinking all of the stranger's piss and puts it back down as like this communal urinal, and then he walks away. So I believe this guy sets a cup down in a position where people will like piss in it, like if they have to publicly urinate, and he collects it all in this chalice, and then he goes and collects it every now and then to drink. It's so wild. Like, someone like that exists. Not only do they exist, but they're part of the same species as the rest of us. Like, I don't know what has to go wrong in someone's brain to lead to that. Also, in the video, there are people that are visibly peeing into the cup. I totally forgot about that in the beginning. There's two guys that are crossing streams on the cup, like the Ghostbusters with their proton beams. So two dudes are literally pissing in the cup right when the video starts. And then about a minute later, the old guy walks over. He's got a plastic bag. He reaches down, he picks up the cup, and he just fucking goes to town. He just goes to town. Sets it back down, walks away. And I imagine, if you haven't seen this video, I bet you have a mental image of what this guy looks like in your head. And I bet you are right on the money with what he actually looks like. He looks like a piss drinker. You look like the piss boy. I mean, like, he actually just does, though. Like, he looks like he's just up to no good at all times. What's even weirder, though, is that this whole area seems like it's a designated piss pot. Because there's also another guy who's near the cup but not on it that's just urinating, too. And it's just in public. Is that not like a crime or something in Paris? Public urination? You know it had to be sexual. It is. It is very clearly sexual. No one's drinking strangers' urine for the flavor or fun. This is some kind of weird fetish. Can't find the video. What's it called? So it's on Reddit. It's called "Man Sets Up Cups for People to Piss in and Drinks Them." Is it possibly fake? It'd be quite a wild fake, because it's a continuous shot here. From the men peeing in the cup to the man walking over to the cup and drinking it. That would be a pretty impressive fake. And it'd be a weird thing to fake, because they get actually nothing out of it. People don't usually piss in the street like that. This video was taken during one of the biggest public protests in 50 years. Oh, is that why there's so many people here urinating on this building? I guess that would make more sense. So he's getting angry pee. Maybe this is part of his protest. I'm gonna keep drinking urine until you revert the retirement age changes. And you can't stop me. I'm gonna keep doing it. You better change your ways. But here, I'll bring this part down. This shouldn't be toss. So this is him leaving the scene of the crime there. But you can see all, like, the piss drivel streaks everywhere. It's, oh my god, it's so fucking revolting. It's so bad. I wonder how many bait cups he has scattered throughout the area, because this is probably not his only spot. He's probably dropped cups in all of, like, the hot spot corners of public urination. So that's where he's running to right now to go claim his prize from another area. He's like a fisherman with, like, lobster pots, so he's going to collect his his haul. The guy filming it showed an empty one under the window. No, that was that one, I'm pretty sure. It was just before the other two guys came in and defiled it. Well, not even defiled it, it's exactly what he looked for. Fed him. Oh, you're right. Oh, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Nice. That's cool. No, that's the shit cup. Oh, yeah, maybe. Maybe the one in the corner over there was for pee and the other one's for poop. Right. You might be onto something. Like a rain catcher. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Now it's all coming together. Now he doesn't even seem crazy anymore. There's a mystery afoot, so grab the Scooby snacks and let's get to work. A pool at a Quality Inn has been mysteriously turning green 12 separate times. This isn't how God intended. This is not natural. They suspect this is intentional sabotage at this particular Quality Inn, but when authorities check the surveillance camera footage, they find no evidence of any culprits going to the scene of the crime or anything like that. How is that possible? Are they being attacked by an invisible man? Is this a situation out of The Happening where the plants are fighting back and they're responsible for the pool turning green 12 times? What's the motive? And most importantly, who really is behind it? It's very clear that there is a supervillain loose here, and only I'm qualified to crack this case and get to the bottom of it. When it comes to mysteries, I'm like L from Death Note. I figured out what happened to D.B. Cooper. I even solved the mystery of who shit in my pants when I went to Halloween Horror Nights in middle school. There's nothing I can't solve given enough time. But luckily in this case I didn't need to. In fact, the authorities pieced the puzzle together and it is so fucking wacky I can't wait to share it with you.
Cops pull up to a shocking sight, a pool where the water has turned neon green.
What in the world? What is that?
Sandra Woolston, the co-owner of This Quality Inn and Suites in New Jersey, was baffled when her motel pool mysteriously turned from clear water to this.
The voiceover for this one makes it sound like an old infomercial. Turn from clear water to this! Ew! But luckily with OxyClean, we got it right back to a clear blue. I don't know why he's, like, exaggerating all of the statements in this manner, like with his intonation, but it's really enjoyable. It makes it, like, even more gripping in my opinion. But anyway, that's the story in a nutshell. This Quality Inn, for some reason, keeps having their pool turn green. And the only way to fix that is for them to keep draining the pool, which is extremely expensive.
I watched it turn green in front of my eyes.
Somebody is sabotaging my pool. My pool is yellow as my guests can't go inside the pool.
I broke down. I didn't know what to do because with all these kids waiting to use the pool, but they couldn't go in.
The pool had to be drained and refilled with clean water. 2 days later,
The vandalist is back again. Our pool is green as a grass.
it happened a total of 12 times.
So either this place is cursed, where they've built it on top of a Hulk burial ground and he's getting his revenge by turning the pool green with gamma radiation, or there really is a practical jokester that's really taken a liking to turning this pool green for some reason. That's all the information we have to work with so far. There are some more clues we'll get to in a moment, but let's start to piece together potential narratives together as a thought experiment. Perhaps whoever is responsible for sabotaging this is a previous guest at the Quality Inn who recently had a negative experience with that pool. Now, if I was on scene during this investigation with my monocle, magnifying glass, and pipe that I was smoking, the first thing I would ask would be if I could have access to the guest registry over the last couple of weeks, and if there'd been any reports of complaints from the guests about the pool. Assuming, of course, the Quality Inn keeps records on their complaints, it would give me a narrower list of suspects that I could focus on. I'd then set up an interview with each name on that list, and I'd do a little game of good cop, bad cop, where I'd be the bad cop and the good cop would come in with like a soda from McDonald's. I'd invite them to drink the soda. When they take a sip, I would then inform them that what they just consumed was truth serum, which means they could no longer lie. Then I'd finally finish it off with the brain buster, the most important question: did you do it? And then I'd gauge their response from there.
This is every damn day, man. Look at the pool.
That's like neon yellow color.
It was just, and the entire pool was engulfed.
What was turning the pool green? Here was the first clue. An object she found at the bottom of the pool.
I'll be honest, that object looks like some kind of extraterrestrial being. If you put a picture of that object on the r/alien subreddit, they would gobble that shit up as true evidence of like an alien brainstem or something. That would give me no clues here. I'd start really thinking paranormal about this. Like, oh, maybe there's not a person behind this. Maybe it's a cryptid or something. I don't know what the fuck that is. That looks disgusting. Whatever that is. It must be whatever turns the pool green. Some kind of like dissolvable mesh or some shit maybe that, you know, distributes the green dye to the rest of the pool. But yeah, that shit is yucky.
But when police reviewed the motel surveillance video, they found nothing suspicious. Here's Stephen Fabian.
So how did the pool turn green? Well, cops say the culprit used a drone like this to hover over his target before releasing a concentrated packet of dye.
The dye is actually a life-saving device used for ocean rescues.
When they broke the magician's code and revealed how this was most likely done, it blew my tiny little brain. I realized at that moment I would never cut it as a detective trying to piece together a complicated case. That whole idea never even crossed my noodle as a possibility. That the reason someone didn't show up on surveillance camera yet the pool still turned green was because it was transported via drone outside of the security camera's, field of view. That would have never been something I thought of. That is actually so devious. It's admittedly a pretty clever plan here, because then the actual person responsible for it is a long distance away from the scene of the crime, so there's not a ton of breadcrumbs to follow. This is one of those galaxy brain maneuvers that you see fictional villains do in media. But somehow, the cops did catch him. So I'm not only impressed by the method they used here in order to distribute the green dye to the pool, but also the fact that they got caught.
So, who do police say was behind the attacks? They arrested 45-year-old Patrick Spina, who owns a heating and air conditioning business close to the motel. The motive? Cops say he's a prankster. He didn't have much to say when we caught up with him.
There he is, that scoundrel. So, they've got him. Apparently, I will say that they didn't do a great job of explaining how they really connected him to this. So apparently he owns a business nearby, but when I first heard that, I thought it'd be like, oh, it must be a competing business and this is his way of sabotaging a competitor, trying to like take them out of business or financially harm them. But apparently they believe the motive is genuinely him just being a quirky little jokester. I also needed to dig a bit deeper in here to figure out how exactly they connected this drone to this individual. So apparently they had spotted it over the Quality Inn on September 1st and then just followed it back to where he was and then arrested him. So they did catch him red-handed with his hand in the cookie jar here, but the motive of just being a prankster is incomprehensible to me because this is not a prank. This is a dozen times. This is just genuine vandalism and trying to ruin that business. Because it's super expensive to keep fixing that. Not only did they have to keep draining the pool and refilling it, but now they're going to have to refinish it too, since the green dye is harmful to the pool as well. So the frequency and all of that makes it seem like it's not really a joke, because I mean, what's the haha moment? It's just this fucking goofball. Like, there's no way he's treating this like a joke. There had to be a deeper motive to it that I don't think is pranks. Though I guess I could be totally wrong here, since pranks in the modern age are just legitimate degeneracy and actual just harming people half the time. So maybe it is possible that this is just his idea of what a prank is, but it really took a big toll on the motel's owner because it is super expensive.
I just hope that this bonehead paid for what he did and he never ever do anything this dumb and so stupid to impact other people's livelihood.
The suspect is charged with criminal mischief and faces fines as much as $30,000. The hotel owner says that prank cost her at least $20,000.
Yeah, so the mystery has been solved. He is facing a charge for this and hopefully will be responsible for paying for all the damages caused to the motel. A happy ending here, but what a wild little adventure to go on because, again, I don't know how you'd ever really piece this one together if you never saw the drone in the surveillance camera or anything. They must have just got lucky that they saw the drone over the Quality Inn at one point and then just followed it back to home base. Yeah, so now we can comfortably close the books on the mysterious case of the pool turning green. Just wanted to share that with all of you. That's about it. See ya. Boy howdy, do I have a wacky story to share with you today. On today's episode of I Can't Believe It's Not Florida, we have the story of a man in New Jersey who crashed his car through a police station while listening to Welcome to the Jungle. So I'm guessing he had that song cranked to max volume and the adrenaline was pumping in his body. The song was reaching its crescendo. It's about to go into the chorus and then this guy's eyes roll into the back of his skull. Welcome to the Jungle summons the spirit of Evel Knievel, takes the wheel, the demon of speed is there, puts the pedal to the metal and just crashes into the police station, and then he like celebrates, kind of. It's an unbelievable clip here from the surveillance camera footage. He gets out of the car like a gymnast who just landed an impressive trick. He like strikes a pose like he was expecting some kind of huge celebration, a massive round of applause as if it was a concert or something and he was performing. It's almost impressive just how much gusto he gets out of the car with. I don't know what he was expecting to happen next, Man thought he was in an audition for Expendables 5, I guess. He's a fucking action movie hero. I have to wonder what he thought would happen next. Maybe he expected them to let him off with a warning because it was so cool. The officers would come out there and just be like, brother, that was the most badass thing I've ever seen. Fist bump. God bless America. Now get out of here. This is your warning. But unsurprisingly, they didn't just slap him on the wrist and send him on his way. He is facing potentially life in prison, not only for this incident, but he actually did something very similar previous to this. This isn't his first rodeo with crashing a car into a building. So apparently he had crashed his gold Toyota SUV into a garage of a private residence to try and scare and harass the homeowner, which he is still facing charges for right now. So this fucking dangerous, unhinged
This is a reminder to
goofball
drink water.
treats motor vehicles like they're missiles. He is just blasting these into any building. Nowhere is safe. You know that statistic that gets tossed around from time to time about how you're more likely to be killed in your chair in the living room than you are on a plane, in a plane crash? I'm starting to believe that now, because with this kind of person out there in the wild, you never know when a car is going to be just crashing through your walls like the Kool-Aid Man, like a fucking torpedo, and just hitting you in the living room out of nowhere. Like, that is just, it's incomprehensible. So he's built up quite an impressive resume here with a lot of charges to his name. So for the first incident, he's facing burglary, criminal mischief, possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose, and harassment. And now for this one, he's facing a terrorism charge, which carries a minimum sentence of 30 years and a maximum sentence of life, causing widespread injury or damage, aggravated assault, burglary, possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose, and criminal mischief. The punishment fits the crime here. It's not like these are exaggerated charges. He just blindly blasted his vehicle into this building. He had no idea if there was going to be people on the other side of it, which could have easily killed people. So yeah, all of these charges really fit the crime. He is not safe to be in society, especially not behind the wheel of a vehicle. Now, one other thing I find shocking about this footage is how calm the officers are in responding to this. They make it seem like it's just routine, as if cars are just crashing through their walls every hour of every day. It's like they just get out there and they're annoyed, like bothered. Oh, jeepers. Jiminy Christmas, another one? Alright, come here, son. I can't believe you've done this. Oh, bother. Alright, book him. Now we're gonna have to clean up another wall. I just don't know how it's possible to be that calm in that situation. They just look exhausted. They look tired and annoyed. Whereas, like, that would be the most shocking jump scare imaginable. Jump scares don't scare me in horror movies or horror games or anything like that, but this would probably actually have me shit myself. 100% I would stain my britches. That is the most unexpected thing to happen. And it's not like that's immediately what you would expect the sound to be. Like, they were in the room over, so they would have just mainly heard it as opposed to see it right away. That must have sounded like a bomb going off. My first thought would be that we had just been hit by a drone strike or something. I wouldn't immediately think like a car came through here or something. Like that I would be in a panic. I would be inconsolable. I'd be shaking. Meanwhile, these two officers here walk out like they'd just been rudely interrupted from their nap. It's just wild to me. Also, something I didn't mention. I mentioned that he had previously crashed into another building, a private residence. Well, what I didn't mention is that first crash had happened only minutes prior to this one. So this guy was just on a rampage. He must have been looping Welcome to the Jungle here, and it was bringing the worst out of him. Now, they haven't disclosed what the motive could have possibly been for crashing into the police station, but here's where I come into the equation, because I'm about to crack this case wide open. This is what I think happened. This is my theory. I got the cork board up with a bunch of red lines drawn to a bunch of different scenarios. So let's piece together what we know for sure. His first crash into the private residence was due to a disagreement with the owner, and it was meant to scare and harass them. I think right after he committed to that, he knew shit was not going to go well for him, so he wanted to go out with a bang. So then he drove a few minutes away to the police station and turned himself in the only way he knew how. With Welcome to the Jungle sending him off like a WWE walkout song and a giant fucking explosion here of crashing through the building. I think his motive was truly he had just ruined his life prior by crashing through the private residence, and he just decided to go all into the lunacy and then crash through the police station. That's what I think happened here, because there's no other potential explanation that I can think of, not even in the realm of science fiction. Like, I can't think of, maybe a possession or something, or like some kind of alien event or anything to try and explain away what could possibly have led to this. I really think it was him knowing that he had already committed a serious crime, and he just, I don't know, decided to go even harder for it and just call it quits by driving through the police station. Or another very likely explanation is he has severe mental illness and completely fucking snapped. That's also very possibly the case here. Who knows? I am excited to see when they finally reveal the motive, because he doesn't seem like a man who's going to be, tight-lipped. It doesn't seem like he's going to be hard to get the truth out of. He probably told them at the police station why he did it. They just haven't said to the public yet. He literally got out and celebrated like he just scored a fucking touchdown in an NFL game, right? This isn't a guy who's going to be super hard to get to the bottom of with his reasoning. He's probably an open book who will just tell them why he did it. But yeah, anyway, I just had to share this story and clip with all of you because, my goodness gracious, that is like something you would see as a fake headline in the background of a movie or a game or something. Just something that people would make up because it sounds ridiculous, but it actually happened. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Yes, I know the quality of the webcam is less than stellar. It looks like the footage from The Dark Knight when the Joker is like selfieing himself as he's torturing a guy. I know it doesn't look great. It's highly pixelated, looking like PlayStation 1 graphics, Charles here, but it is what it is. It's the only webcam that I have, and I really want to talk about something since I can't sleep, which has become all too common. It's extremely late right now. It's 3 a.m. I gotta get up at 7 a.m. and I didn't sleep last night and I'm not sleeping tonight. Insomnia is absolutely beating my cheeks in and it's making me mad. But the only thing that makes me more upset than not being able to sleep is porch pirates. And that's what we're here to talk about. Since I was tossing and turning, having nothing but the most inopportune moments for deep existential thoughts, which kept me awake, I decided I'd go on the cyberspace to see if there's any kind of lullabies that could put me to sleep. Maybe Jigglypuff could sing me a song or something. But instead, all I found were two very peculiar cases of porch pirates stealing some packages that I just think are really interesting, so let's talk about them. You know that trope that exists in anime and other fiction where the villain is super smart with like the most creative and most galaxy brain scheme imaginable? Yeah, it doesn't usually happen in the real world. It's usually just a bunch of fucking brain dead morons that have the dumbest ideas and then commit a crime. But not in this case. We finally have a rare unicorn here with a turbo genius criminal. So, they wanted to steal a package, but they didn't want their identity to be compromised because most people have Ring doorbells or something similar in this day and age. So, how do you get around this? They don't have the mask technology that Mission Impossible does or anything, so they had to get creative. It seems like they found a nearby traffic cone and hid inside of it, which does a great job of concealing not only their face, but their whole body. This could be a full-grown man, full-grown woman, or a child. There's no telling. The only clues we have to go on are the barefoot pitter-patter from the door to the driveway. That's it. That's not a whole lot of clues. You'd have to get the forensics team out there and start like swabbing the concrete to see if you can get some kind of like DNA off it, maybe? I have no idea. So they might actually get away with this one. I do have a working theory though. I think the culprit here is someone that is familiar with the family. I think it's a family friend or maybe even a nearby neighbor. They knew they could be easily identified by the homeowner, which is why they took such extreme measures here. That, or it's staged. This could just be faked. This could be just a prank, like a staged video for the sake of it going viral, which it absolutely did. But I like to pretend and suspend disbelief here. I like to think that this was a real instance of a porch pirate coming up with a really creative solution. But anyway, there's no further updates that I can find on this story, so this menace is still at large. Sleep in fear. Or in my case, don't sleep at all, because insomnia is a real bitch. But also, if there's any traffic cones nearby, you might want to hide them somewhere so that way they can't be utilized like this and steal your packages. Now, while this one could be faked, the next one is not, because they've been caught. Though they did have an equally creative idea on how to get away with stealing packages. I'm kidding, it's actually a really fucking stupid idea. I'll just go ahead and show you the news segment on it.
DoorDash driver arrested. Police say she was caught on camera instead of taking. Take a look here. Police say Juliana Sagaram stole a package, as you see right there, from a Manhasset home last month. Video shows a woman walking up to the doorstep on Highland Terrace holding a brown paper bag there, and police telling us it was a Chipotle order she was supposed to deliver nearby. Neighbors say this is unbelievable.
So Juliana's plan was simple and also not super effective because she didn't get away with it. There were a lot of holes in this scheme. It wasn't exactly a bulletproof plan. While doing food delivery, she decided to take this package here, and I guess her whole idea was if she's in the middle of a food delivery, no one would think twice about her going up to the front of a house, and then she could make a getaway with the package without anyone stopping her. So it seems the whole idea was to avoid suspicion by having a good cover story. No, I'm not here to steal packages. I'm here to deliver food. You're out of order. You lost your marbles. But she failed to account for modern technology, where most people have like Ring doorbells now or anything that records video outside their home, because of the rising problem of porch pirates. So it didn't do anything to prevent the authorities from seeing who she was. And I guess really she just wanted to make sure no one would like interfere with her plan. But I don't know how common that is. Like, I don't feel like there's a ton of people that recognize when a porch pirate is striking, because they usually run up, grab it, and run away. There's not a whole lot of time for someone to fucking swoop in and stop them, unless of course she's doing this in Gotham City and Batman happened to be nearby in the neighborhood. Like, I just don't think that is really commonplace. So overall, Buddy with the traffic cone over his head actually had a more effective strategy than she did. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about these because they were super silly. They both came up with pretty creative plans on how to be a scumbag, and one of them so far has got away with it. The other one is at least facing charges, so that's good that she's, been caught. And I guess we'll see if the traffic cone supervillain pops out of hiding at some point again in the future. But anyway, that's about it. So yeah. Good luck sleeping tonight with this villain I'm about to put on your radar. You will be trying to snooze with one eye open and one eye on your phone, looking for any Ring doorbell alerts. Because there's a menace on the loose. There's a maniac afoot, and SpongeBob isn't here to catch him yet. We're talking about the Porch Pooper. An elusive, nefarious scoundrel that's leaving undesired presence on the front door of one man in particular at the moment. But this could be just the beginning of a crime spree.
You've probably heard of porch pirates, but what about porch poopers? Don't know any other way to say it.
I can think of like 100 other ways to say it. Why didn't you just ask me? But I will say, porch pooper I think is very solid. That's a great alliteration that just flows off the tongue. But I've got some cool names for this cryptid. Feel free to use them. The Patio Shadio, Spready Fazbear, Poop Shitman. I'm partial to Poop Shitman myself. It sounds like the name of a Kojima character, like Die Hard Man.
Right now, LMPD is looking for a man who has been using the bathroom on Louisville homeowner's porch all week long. Ward Jollish tracked down the homeowner and spoke with him about being targeted by a porch pooper.
That's the last kind of person you want to be targeted by. That's like being hunted down by Jason Bourne right there. A porch pooper has set his sights on this one homeowner in particular for no reason that they can figure out yet. It seems like random act of shit.
Listen, a warning. While we won't show you everything, okay? We won't show you everything. Some may be grossed out by this video.
When I first watched this, I actually thought this was about to be some kind of like sly plug for their Patreon or something, or like exclusive membership content on their YouTube channel. Look, we're not going to show you everything here, but sub to the Patreon or join on YouTube and you get the full ass blasto experience here, poop and all. More butt cheek and more feces than you can handle. Enjoy to your heart's content. But it's just her letting viewers know, like, hey, there's a dude fucking squatty pottying on this guy's front door, and even though we censored it, it's still kind of yucky.
It all started with this. Sunday night, a young man in a red shirt walks up to one Louisville home well after midnight and begins peering inside. The homeowners have no clue. After a few seconds, the man runs away in his socks and disappears into the night. But the next night, he returns and leaves a horrific surprise.
There's a lot to unpack here. If you ask me, it doesn't seem like he's in his right mind. He's got to be under the influence of something, it looks like. Because he's approaching the door and he starts doing this with his hands like he's fucking putting binoculars on to see inside of it, about to use X-ray vision or something. I know it's an effective strategy when you actually get to the door so you can see in a little bit better and focus, but he was doing it like from way too far away for that to be useful at all. And of course, you have to be off your goddamn gourd to take a shit on a stranger's doorstep. But what's even weirder about this is that it was a premeditated shitting. It wasn't like some kind of impulse thing where he just had the bubble guts and just couldn't hold it in anymore, the dam broke. He went to the house one night, cased the joint basically, scoping out the scenery, making sure it's like the optimal place to take a shit. Came back the following night after cooking it up, like charging his alt for 24 hours, and then released the payload. Like, he just took the dump the following night. So this was something that he had planned out from the sound of it. And looking at the footage, he was wearing the same outfit. At least if this footage is the proper timeline where he went to the house first just looking at everything, and then came back the next night taking the shit, he's wearing the exact same clothes, so he didn't even like bathe or change in that time.
Tuesday morning, I went out to my front porch and noticed this, what I thought was a cat poop.
The homeowner, who wishes to remain anonymous but who we'll refer to as Jim, then checked his doorbell camera and realized it was no cat at all.
And it turned out to be a person. And not only did he defecate, but he also urinated on our welcome mat.
This seems personal, but the homeowner Jim has no idea who this guy is or why he would do this in the first place. And to make matters even worse, I'm pretty sure I have that exact same pair of pants that the porch pooper is wearing. So I may have been burgled by this gentleman. Maybe he broke into my house in the middle of the night, stole my pants, and left a fucking surprise somewhere that I haven't found yet. And now he's wearing my pants while shitting around the town.
What's even more disturbing is that the man returned a third time the very next night. Jim got an alert on his phone and tried to confront him, but the man was already gone.
You have no idea who this guy is or why he's doing this?
I have no idea. We're good neighbors. We, keep to ourselves. We behave ourselves. And
he was visited 3 times, like the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future. But the only gift he was given was the gift of a fucking colon cleansing on his front porch. And in all 3 instances captured on the doorbell camera, he's wearing the same clothes. This guy didn't bathe or change over the course of 3 different public shitting incidents.
That's terrible.
His hygiene stinks. This guy fucking super sucks. I imagine him going